On April 15th, 2025, which was my birthday, of course, I launched a campaign called Fantastic First Steps 4 Voices of Change, which was inspired by the movie The Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, the idea was simple. Call for submissions from different people who were willing to share their bold first step stories and inspire the world. The response is 0 submissions. Now, this was supposed to be my make or break moment, but for some reason, I chose to see the whole thing through, and that choice is what led us to today. And in this episode, I'll be laying out 4 lessons that I learned throughout the campaign. I'm your host, Tinashe Moyo, and welcome back to Stride. Okay, so before we go any further, please excuse the raspiness in my voice. I've been dealing with a flu, so yeah, my voice sounds deeper than usual, but I'm just gonna try my best to get through with all of this. Thank you guys for tuning in. It really means a lot. Anyways, here are the 4 lessons. Lesson 1 is research. I mean, research is one of the most important things when it comes to just about anything. It could be campaigns, it could be building houses, it could be even things like buying groceries and stuff. Because with groceries, you have to look at different supermarkets, look at the best prices and all of that kind of stuff. So when it comes to this campaign, research, I'll start by naming things like merchandise, something like what I'm wearing today. The unfortunate thing is, here in Zimbabwe, we have limited resources regarding material for clothes. So looking at the period this campaign was actually going down, it was happening during winter. So if you want something to work, like merchandise is like one of the best ways to market like a product, a brand. Look at guys like Econet, guys like Telecel, all these other different brands. They have their employees wearing their merchandise so that people know that Econet exists, Net1 exists, even if they are having any kind of campaign that they're doing. Because someone is wearing a t-shirt, they are a moving billboard. So when it comes to this, considering that it was happening during the winter, some might want to differ, like, no, you don't have to do, you can still do t-shirts. But in my mind, I wanted hoodies, because if it's the winter, you want people to market the campaign. And the best way to market the campaign when they are moving around, they have to see the hoodie being worn. Now, if you get to do a t-shirt during winter, the first resort, people are going to wear jackets if it's winter. So you won't be able to see this. So that just made me realize, like, okay, yeah, I was only able to do this t-shirt, but then at the same time, the merchandise was for the people who had submitted stories for individuals, but then there were no submissions. So I was just like, well, let me try and save some money. And yeah, let me just keep it to myself. So I ended up not doing anything regards to merchandise, because I even had ideas to do things like giveaways for merchandise as well. But That's just how it is. So I think when it comes to research, extensive research, you actually look at things like, okay, there's pros, there's cons. That just taught me so much more about functionality over aesthetics. As far as it goes, this looks beautiful. This is amazing. But functionality wise, if it's a winter campaign, there's other people who create hoodies and stuff, warm stuff. You can actually enjoy wearing their stuff. So yeah, it's just one of those things. And then the other thing, still on lesson one, is the issue regarding technicalities. There's a friend of mine who texted me, I think about a month ago or early, I can't really remember, but they texted me. That's all I know. And they said, during their research, they found out that people are not really comfortable telling their stories on camera. Now, I didn't agree to their point fully, but I understood where they were coming from. That made me realize that, okay, I requested things like submissions through phone. So you were requested to record your story via mobile. Then you had to submit via the Google Docs, Google form page, or whatever it was. I'm actually forgetting what it was. But that was the avenue for you to submit. But then again, when I look at things like, people have so many things going on. I'm not trying to make excuses for people, right? But I'm saying things that I experienced. I had people that wanted to submit their stories, but when you'd communicate with them, they'd tell you like, oh, I got tied up. Some would procrastinate. Like, these are things that happen in life. I myself am one of the biggest procrastinators in life. So I won't give stick to the next person for procrastinating. But these are things that I experienced. These are like firsthand. So one of the solutions was to simply, do physical interviews, man. Because, at the end of the day, you get to control the whole narrative. So that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned. Lesson number 2, psychology. When we look at, when I say psychology, I'm simply talking about framing. The way I framed the theme. I think if people clearly remember the video, I think the video emphasized more about overcoming challenges. So in a way, I think people sometimes feel that, some of their stories are not big enough. When you say overcoming challenges, people in their mind think something huge, something massive. A good example was when I was talking to Paddington about this whole thing. He was just telling me like, I was busy thinking to myself, like, what kind of challenge did I overcome, And then he ended up telling me, I think a little bit later on towards deadline day, like, oh yeah, I had this, I went through that. It wasn't something that was massive, but it was still something that was worth sharing. So I then thought to myself, like, man, I could have framed it in an inviting manner, instead of just overcoming challenges. There was so many, things I could have mentioned. Anything, even if it's fun, because sometimes we think that challenges are all about, we're talking about having a broken leg, this is not to kick anyone in the face, but I'm just giving an example. So in regards to framing, that was another lesson that I learned. Like, it just doesn't have to be overcoming challenges, anything fun, because it's not just the dark, dark stories that can inspire people, but even the fun things, the goofy things can definitely inspire people as well. So yeah, that was part of lesson number 2. Now, lesson number 3, I think this was one of the most important things. And it's to, I think, the greatest of all time WWE wrestler says it better than I think almost anyone else. And it's to never give up. Because considering the fact that submissions never came through, I even reached a point where I was just like, man, I don't think I can move forward with this thing, because what's the point if there are no submissions from people? Let me just sit back, let me just forget about it. But then I remembered the whole intention. Sometimes it's not just about making people happy. Sometimes it's all about it can also be about you, like you learning certain different things. So I just chose to move forward with this thing, and now more than ever, when I chose to move forward, I was enjoying myself. I'm sure with the video that you saw where I think it was the last call for submissions, I was at a point where I was just like, you know what, even if people don't submit, it doesn't matter anymore, because this is now about me enjoying creating stuff. That video, every time I think of it, or every time I look at it, it gives me so much joy, so much fulfillment, so much happiness. Like, I actually took things up a notch, So that's one thing that I really learned about, never giving up. Of course, it's difficult to pull through, but there are so many rewards that you get. Sometimes you don't get rewards that people see, but I think the biggest thing above all else is pushing things to the best of your ability when the audience is not clapping and when the audience is not watching. These are moments where we grow. So yeah, never giving up was something that I put close to my heart, because I learned so much. And then the 4th lesson, this is seeding. Some things like campaigns, brands, ideas, they don't bloom like there and then. Some things take time. I always look at this movie called Scott Pilgrim versus the World. When it was released, it was a box office failure. It didn't generate the money that they hoped for, but over the years, it became a cult classic, and people actually appreciated the movie. I think from the way it was, created, like the scripting, the animation, all these kinds of things, people started to appreciate it more. But this was years later. So when I look at this campaign, yes, in a way, it's a failure. But I mean, to me, I frame failure as gold, because I may not have gotten the submissions that I needed, but it's a seed. Like, there are certain things that I want to do in the future, so many ideas that I have, but this seeding is like a plant that's gonna grow into something different. Like, whenever I get to do other things, I'm always gonna look back at Fantastic First Steps for Voices of Change and just say, oh, okay, with the way I approached this, I can actually apply. Sorry. I can actually apply. Slip of the tongue. I'm sorry. But I can actually apply these concepts, these ideas, this kind of approach to what I want to do. So yeah, I consider this a mustard seed that's going to grow in the future. So I think that's just about it with the Fantastic First Steps 4 Voices of Change special episode. I hope you guys learned so much with the 4 lessons that I gave you. Yeah, I enjoyed. If I'm to be honest, I enjoyed like the highs, the lows, the whole journey was, so much fun. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Before I close, I just want to congratulate the 4 lucky movie ticket winners. The movie ticket giveaway was actually, I think, the second from last phase of the campaign. So when I say that I didn't give up because I was intentional, I knew the giveaway was there and I still wanted to do it. This thing was self-funded. Of course, I could have approached Stay Kineko or Kineko. I don't know how you pronounce it. But I was just like, yeah, let me just do it by myself. And yeah, you, you get to learn things as you go. But more than anything, I really enjoyed, and that gave me fulfillment. So yeah, damn, I was digressing, sorry, but congratulations to the 4 lucky winners. I hope you enjoy the movie, and I hope this movie teaches you positive things about life, which you can, apply to your own lives or tell other people. Yeah, but more than anything, just enjoy the movie. I look forward to watching the movie myself because, I'm a huge Pedro Pascal fan. So yeah, that's just about it. And by virtue of this brings us to the end of the Fantastic First Steps 4 Voices of Change campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for taking part in this. I know there were people that wanted to submit. Yeah, there's so many things that we're going to do in the future. You always get chances. We're going to do things a bit different since we've learned so many things, because it's not just me, and I'm sure you guys that are watching have also learned something. So yeah, this is the end of the chapter. Yeah, it's been an amazing ride. Thank you all for being a part of the journey. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you, like, leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to know what you guys think. And yeah, make sure you share with someone else who you feel needs to, have a listen to my content. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.